Matthew chapter 6, beginning.
We're going up to verse 6.
Okay.
Okay. Get into the need. Be careful. Do not practice righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the
Big word. Fancy word.
Fancy word.
She's over at chapter 6. In the
Say synagogue.
synagogue.
What's a synagogue?
A place where the priests go.
Yes, they would
It's a
worship.
place where the priests would go and the people would gather to hear the priests teach. It's similar to what we would consider our church building.
And what are hypocrites?
Hypocrites are people who do one thing and say completely the opposite, right?
Okay, carry on, Jovi.
Okay. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving. Wait, can you pause? In a secret. Then
Let her finish reading.
Who sees what is done in secret will reward.
Okay.
But what does it really mean literally when it says, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing? Is that really literal or not?
What do you think?
I don't really think it's literal.
Okay. Why?
Because you can't really do that.
Okay, well, good. That's a good clue that he might be using. We would call that a figure of speech, right? So if my left hand and my right hand are pretty close together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be pretty hard for me to do something with my left hand without my right hand knowing about it. Unless my right hand was over here and my left hand was going, I'll let you know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, but you could still see your...
I could still see it, but my hand couldn't, right?
Yeah, but your hand doesn't see.
True. So what do you think he means by that? What does that figure of speech mean?
I don't know.
Well, there's a clue here, okay? The clue is in the beginning of verse 4 is the end of that sentence. So read the whole sentence from chapter 3, from chapter 6, verse 3, all the way to the period in verse 4.
Verse 6.
Chapter 6, verse 3.
Chapter 6, verse 3. Okay. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret.
Okay. When we see the word "so that," that's a really good hint that we should underline that and pay attention to what comes after the "so that." Okay. So what I would do is I would underline "so that," or circle "so that." Circle it.
Circle or underline.
So that.
So that
So that. What's the "so that" pointing to? So that what?
your giving may be in secret.
Okay. So he says, do this so that that. Do X so that Y.
Cause and effect. We learned that this year.
Yeah.
In secret,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can have a reward and not brag about it.
Good job, Jezreel.
Sometimes,
Because if you brag about it, then you'll lose your reward.
Yeah.
you'll lose your reward from who?
Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus, right?
Like you should do good deeds in secret and not do it in front of others and not brag about it.
Yeah. So that's one of the things you notice about Hebrew poetry. uses comparison and contrast a lot. And what Jesus is doing right here is he's setting up two things that are in contrast so that we can see why it's important to do the one and why it's really important to not do the other. Okay? Sometimes it's just not important what you do, it's important what you
Don't do.
Cannot do.
cannot do.
And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, you have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray. Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. This is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For if you forgive other people, and they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins.
Good job.